Okay, happy Wednesday, traders. Welcome. Okay, we're going to get pre-market starting in a minute. So Wyatt, Tony, good to have you guys on. Let's let some guys join. Sorry, I just have to reset the Wi-Fi. Okay, got a couple of things to go over. First and foremost, it is NFP today, so keep that in mind. Okay, let's just go like that. Let's just let these guys know over here. Perfect. Okay, so first and foremost, we do have NFP today, right? So if we go to Forex Factory, we've got NFP now in the next 20 minutes at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. So a bit of a weird one. I was discussing this on Monday already that NFP is normally the first Friday of every single month, but because of the government shutdowns, this has been moved over to the Wednesday. And then we also have CPI on Friday. So quite a big news-filled week. I'm actually flat this week so far. I've been on the road, as you guys can see, but my year started out pretty nicely. I had a good Jan, and then Feb. I actually haven't traded at all this week. So I've been on the road, but also we've been trading in a little bit of a tighter range yesterday, and then Monday I didn't, as you saw, I missed the longs on Monday. So, didn't chase anything yesterday. And I think it's been, I think it's actually not a bad thing heading into NFP and CPI this back half of the week. So let's look at ES. Let's go to a 15-minute time frame. We can see we traded in quite a tight range yesterday, and still we are doing that overnight as well. So yesterday we had a little bit of a flush down later on into the session, but I did mention to the guys on my live stream that we do want to be careful of longs into that 7,000 area on ES. Similar to the NASDAQ as well, we were just trading in that tight range. And I think if you are, looking at only like a 1 minute time frame, I definitely think going out to like a 15-minute and hourly just to see what type of ranges we are trading in. And respecting, I think, has helped quite a lot in terms of not getting trapped into taking those longs yesterday. How's everyone's week been? I can see some new guys in the chat here on the Discord. We are also live on socials too, but good to have you on, Tony, as always. Anthony, what's up? So as I said, AQ still trading within that range, 25,450, and then we have actually flushed those lows that I was looking at from yesterday. We've taken out the previous day's lows, so that's going to be interesting. Heading into NFP, as I said, NFP is going to be in the next 14 minutes. So 13 minutes. The DAX trading lower overnight, so that's an interesting one. With US markets sometimes do tend to follow that. It can be like a leader. I actually had some DAX shorts on stream here last week. That was quite a nice trade. If you guys, anyone had marked up or even traded it with me. I don't really trade anything pre-market on the US equities or indexes personally, but those DAX shorts last week were pretty nice. Cool. So as I said, it's been a pretty good start to the year. This is just year to date. I had a great January. I think just look, some days just not taking any trades, just not over trading, not trying to force things. That Monday we had a loss on stream with you guys, with Andre. But yeah, a lot of my trades this year are coming after that first hour is actually set in, and that's where we can maybe go over a few of the edgeful reports that I do like to look at. Obviously, the screener will come up here in a bit. I like using this for daily bias. You can even customize this as well. So sometimes I like looking at after the first 30 minutes, that opening candle continuation. But this gives a great indication into what the market wants to do. And I think that a lot of traders, discretionary traders at least, they get caught trying to play both sides of the market. And I think I like to have a thesis or idea for what I like to do each day, and then I try and stick to that, right? And yesterday I did like the longs, but unfortunately we never got above that 7,000 area for me to be looking to buy it. Now, some guys scalped some longs off the open higher. It just wasn't my trade. It wasn't my play. And I think I did well because look how we actually stayed within that range. What's up, Mark? I see you on the socials here. Any questions in the chat right now? Any questions in the chat right now? I can see some guys here. Steve, Tony, how's your week been, bro? Wyatt. So yeah, we had a question with regards to that the NFP. So let's go to the reports here. And let's go to the that economic data volume. This is on ES, right, at the moment. And then you can have a look at non-farm payrolls, just the volume that's coming in after NFP. But that's the one question in the chat there. The one question in the chat was, it's that percentage performance based after NFP has been released. So what does the index typically do after in percentage based returns after the NFP has been released, essentially? Had to pause trading gold, still getting, was that because you're trading with the prop firms that have paused it, Tony? Yeah, it's an interesting one for sure. With them blocking gold and everything like that. I do know that some of the personal brokerage accounts have also increased margin and everything like that too. But yeah, NFP in the next 10 minutes. And then I'm still levels that I'm looking for in ES. So let's just remove these drawings. Okay. Levels that I'm still looking for in ES. We have tapped into previous days lows. So 950 on ES. Okay. And the reason I like to plot ES is because it gives me a good gauge onto what NASDAQ wants to do as well. They typically do move together. YM does do its own thing from time to time, and I do find myself trading it when there is nice, some clear setups. Yeah, sizing, but it was a decision of mine to pause. Interesting, yeah, just because of the volatility. Yeah, look at that. Silver's up 6% today. Gold's up 1.3%. Yeah, very interesting. You guys can see my screen, right? Yeah, you guys should be able to see my screen. So some reports that I do like to look at heading into the open. Again, it's always going to be very, very similar ones. You guys know I love using the orb with the view app. Okay, that's always going to be my favorite. Okay, and then I love using that opening candle continuation report. So if we go to the opening candle continuation report, okay, and we go to the first hour. So on ES, we can even look at NASDAQ as well. A lot of guys here trade NASDAQ, so NQ. First hour bullish. In the last 6 months, 78% of the chance time, we will actually get a bullish closing day, and vice versa for the short, 76% of the time. So, I think what I've been doing well recently is just being, sitting on my hands, being patient, waiting for those right setups to come along. And that's been going well on my personal account, as well as you saw I've been taking out some prop firm payouts as well. So, just ticking over, not trying to force things, particularly now that I'm on the road. You guys can see I'm not actually at my usual setup for the guys watching online. But that first hour does give some great insights into what the market wants to do. And everyone's got, trades differently. Andre likes to trade with tighter stops, more momentum plays. I will do that from time to time, but I like to trade, level to level and pick my spots in the market. Here we go. Let's go to that previous day's range report as well. I think from an extended market hours. Now, you always want to make sure you are looking at the right one. I like looking at the extended market hours. So like, yes, when we take out the previous day's highs, 67% of the time will close as a bullish closing day. And you couple that with like an opening candle continuation report, and you have both an agreement, you're in for good, potential setup. Cool. So something interesting that came up this week with a lot of the guys that I do live streams with and coaching, a lot of them are trying to trade pre-market when volume is often a lot lower. And I think if you cannot get caught up trying to trade pre-market, it does help you in terms of saving your trades for when the market is there's actually volume flowing into the market, right? I don't know how many guys here trade pre-market, but I just, from my perspective, I think a lot, save the sessions. You don't need to trade all day, every single day, and you'll give yourself a lot better chance to actually be focused for the sessions instead of trying to trade 5-6 hours a day. Lock in for 2-3 hours max. Let's have a look at some other markets here as well. So we're just on the Mag 7. I'm just having a look at NVIDIA up 0.8%. Tesla and Meta, the only Mag 7 stocks that are down right now. As I said, we'll be on here. We got NFP in the next 6 minutes. I got Wick and pre-market MNQ the same. Yeah, I mean, let's go to NASDAQ this morning. Like, it's just, I mean, the volume is so much lower compared, and on an NFP day, right, French? Like, I just think that there's better opportunities to be had later on as the session progresses, right? personally. Any questions in the chat right now? See some guys coming in. Steve, I can see you typing. Are you still running your algo today or turn it off? I still have mine on, personally, because I backtested it through the NFP days and stuff like that. The only time I'll really turn it off is on like bank holidays. That's a good question. So yeah, I turned it off during the bank holidays, and I just let it run in the background. I do make adjustments every now and again. Yeah. What are your thoughts in regards to trading in evals versus fund, and what sort of risk would you be trading each phase? Yeah, Mike, that's a good question. So I definitely tone down the risk in the funded stage because I would just, I want to lock out. I'd rather trade more accounts and spread them out, and you lock out bigger payouts. But I do attack the challenge phase, eval phase, whatever you want to call it, more aggressively. So I'll trade much higher risk in the evaluation stage and then turn it down once I'm in the funded, just because I want to lock out payouts, on accounts every single month. Yeah. What's up, Frank? Good to have you on. Zoom out. Yeah, of course, Steve. Good to have you on. Zoom out and see if you can see an inverted head and shoulders. Yes, yeah. Geez, I don't particularly use that, but it's what time frame, French? What time frame are you looking at for that chart pattern? But I mean, we can clearly see yesterday Nasdaq trading within that level, just at that shelf. Very, very rangy. Off the highs at 25,420 and down to the lows at 25,285. We did close on the lows, however, yesterday, which is quite interesting. And we have taken out the previous day's lows over here, right? Like that. 1 hour. Okay, let's go look at that. Yeah, I can see that. Are you talking like this, right? Are you? Yes, thank you. Okay, yeah, I can see that. So you're basically looking at it like this. Yeah, like left shoulder, head, and then right shoulder potentially. Yeah, I see that. I mean, from a bullish perspective, heading into NFP, obviously we'll have to see what happens. But from a bullish perspective, we are trading above the 5-day SMA. I like to look at the like quantifiable things because everyone can see different chart patterns. But I definitely see what you're seeing. But we are trading above that 5-day SMA, which is that black thick line coming across my screen. Right, you guys know Brian Shannon, who loves using VWAP and SMAs. He loves to use that as well. And I guess we are still holding downside levels. Like we did squeeze on Friday, and we have been moving higher ever since. Like that was a massive squeeze on Friday. I mean, we are almost back at previous week's highs, where we sold off on on Tuesday. Sorry, Tuesday last week we literally sold off from the highs to the lows. We were down 270 points on ES. Squeeze on Friday, and we still are holding that Friday close price, right, which is around 69.50, right? So we definitely are still holding that Friday's closing price, which is pretty key right now for the longs to still be in play. What's up, Marie? 100%. What sort of risk would you go in for the challenge phase? Would you trade max risk allowed per trade? So I'll always give myself, like, I always have an equity protector on my account. So for those asking, I do trade mainly CFDs, but the CFDs and futures is the same thing. You guys would have heard from streaming. If I'm trading ES, it's ES as a CFD contract, not a futures contract. But just depends on what the account is. So if I'm trading like a 100K account, I'll trade maybe on the challenge phase, maybe $2,000 of risk per trade because there's a 10 grand drawdown limit. It just depends on what your drawdown limits are and how aggressive you want to be. Right on the funded, if I can lock in, I've got 4 accounts at the moment. If I can lock in, 4K payouts across all of those accounts per month, that's 16 grand just from those 4 accounts. And I've still got my own personal cash account, and probably also looking to scale up. There's just been I don't know if you guys are on Twitter, there's just been a lot of prop firm drama recently, which I don't really like to get too much into. But yeah, it's It's been pretty wild, I must say. Cool. So we got NFP now next minute. We'll wait and see what happens. If you got any trades from this week that you'd like me to cover as well, we can definitely go over that. Yeah, so NFP now, next 30 seconds. Let's have a look and see what happens. Okay, 10 seconds, NFP. There you go. Higher. Yep. Higher for now. Yes, getting some lift. Let's have a look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ a little bit higher too. As I said, I think if you just wait, let markets kind of dictate and give you more information, be more patient in your entries, you'll find you'll be trading a lot better, right? Let's go like that. So this is a 15-minute time frame, right? Also, my account, I've got max risk per trade 2% on every risk in one. But yeah, so it just depends on what your risk tolerance is, right? On what you want to go. What are your goals for the accounts? I like at least with the CFD accounts, once I've got them funded, I don't want to be giving them back too easily. So, personally for me, I'm trying to just get payouts from them. If I can make 3%, 4% a month on those accounts, I'll be 3-4 grand per month per account. You have 5-6 accounts. At the moment, I got 4. That would be, great. So, yeah, everyone's got different goals, financial goals, everything like that. Some guys, literally, like if they can make an extra 2 grand a month, it's fantastic and that's brilliant. Trading, everyone's got different goals, and that's the beauty of it. Everyone sees the market differently, and yeah, you got to do what suits your aspirations. So. Again, I would be wary of long still into the 7,000 level on ES at the moment. We obviously respected that quite heavily into yesterday, from Monday into yesterday. And I think if we still struggle to find clearance of that, I definitely would not be surprised to see this come lower. But for now, I'm going to trade what's in front of me and not overcomplicate anything. And then, I'll be live on pre-market Thursday and Friday. You guys know Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays pre-market. And then Mondays and Fridays, I'm live with Andre and the edgeful team here on socials. So make sure if you are watching this on my YouTube channel, edgeful's YouTube channel, give it a subscribe. And then I'm in my live trading room, which you guys can check out. The link is in my bio as well. The rest of the week, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. But as I said, been a pretty quiet week from my side. I'm on the road, but no trades. So we'll see if we can find something today. CPI is on Friday, so bear that in mind as well. And then, as I said, just levels on ES at 7,000 level. If we could get that, I think we could definitely see higher. On the daily time frame, we are still holding very, very nicely. Like, look at this on the daily time frame. We're holding very, very nicely at the moment. But still trading back into all-time highs. It's crazy how we had that drop, right? If we zoom in here, okay, we had that drop, and then literally last week, and then literally back up 3% on year. So the bulls have been stepping in. So, every single time you do get any form of dip, they have been bought. So Yeah, let's have a look. YM also pushing. YM actually looked the most bullish yesterday of the indexes, I must say. We still are trading as an inside day as well over there. Any questions in the chat? Any reports that you guys want to have a look at before we call it here, and then we can we'll see you guys all on stream today, and then for the rest of the week as well. I'll be here in the Discord chat as usual. Any questions? So cool. Jeez, ES getting some extension here for sure. This is a 30-point bar right now, almost 30.25 points at the moment. Cool, guys. So we'll close up here. We'll see you guys live on stream. Have a good one, and yeah, we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys all then. Have a good one. Cheers, guys.